acquainted better, I think we're waiting for a couple more people. So while we're right here in this little circle, why don't we say our names? I'm Richard. This is
Drew. Giles.
Jenna. Dan. Marielle.
Marielle. Ella? Ellie or Ella?
Ella.
Ella. I mean, we forgot Corey. Now Corey's a little older, so he's going to be taking care of like the movie part of this because we're going to make a little DVD by the end. Yes,
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Because the funeral's happening, you have to stop being here an hour earlier. You're going to be doing other things out there.
Yes.
He has somewhere else he has to be.
You want to pick up earlier?
I'm thinking maybe I will. 11?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Because what I was going to do anyway, I was going to do it tomorrow instead of today. I was going to take them to show them the galleries and murals. So instead of doing it tomorrow, I was just going to fill that hour with that. But that's fine if he wants. We're going to go other times. I'm sorry.
Okay, cool.
Okay?
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
It'll be either or, and I'm not sure yet. I'll either give it 11 or I'll be 12. So don't hang out for me waiting.
Right. If we're leaving by 11.
We're on this street here.
Yes. We're going to stay right over here.
Okay.
Okay?
Good, thanks.
Okay. So why don't you guys get comfortable for a few minutes? Let me show you where the bathrooms are first. Okay? Actually, you know what? Why don't we're going to have cubbies we're going to use later to put our stuff in. And we're going to work on making portfolios today so we can put your artwork in. Two important things that we need to do before you can be artists, right? You need to like get all these things out of the way with where to put our stuff at. So for now, why don't you just put your bags right over here, along here on the floor, all your stuff. And I'll give you a little tour. So we're gonna be using this room over here too, but the restaurant people have to use it today. But this will all be open space and we can be able to work in. We don't have the mural per se here yet because we're going to decide together as a team how exactly we're going to do it. And I'm going to show you a couple examples of what the possibilities are today. So that's the great thing about creating, right? Is that you always have room for possibilities and imagination, right? Yeah, that's what I love about creating and being an artist, is that anything is possible, right? Yeah, okay. So come on, I'll show you where the bathrooms are at. And these guys, don't be afraid. Like, this is like, your little home on Mondays and Tuesdays. So, make yourself at home. Don't be afraid of the space. There'll always, over here, there'll always be water and juices and some snacks set up. Help yourself whenever you want to. If you have to go to the bathroom and I'm talking or in the middle of something, you just get up. You don't even have to say, excuse me. Just get up and go do what you gotta do and come back. Okay? So these are going to work on for our little puppies, and let's borrow some supplies. This bathroom is for boys and girls both because that one's locked and the light is right here on the left-hand side. Okay? Come on down here. And let's just take a quick look at the restaurant so you can see what everybody is. I think restaurants are always really interesting. People aren't there.
Good morning. I'm late. I'm sorry.
We're just taking a tour, that's all.
Okay.
Nicole?
There's Nicole or Nikki.
Maggie, we're gonna,
Okay.
they booked a funeral by accident overlapping. We have to be out of there at 11 today, but I want to take the kids on a quick tour
That's fine.
over here. So we'll
Be here at 11?
at 12.
12 still.
Yeah, still 12.
Okay.
But we're gonna be outside instead, not upstairs.
Oh, no problem.
Okay?
Alright, I'm sorry. I forgot the journal. That's why I went to get it.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, bye. Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Just join in, Nicole. We're just taking a tour of the building so you know what's going on. These guys smell funny, don't they?
Yeah.
I think so, right? I think so. But then the food comes out and then it smells good all of a sudden, right? Okay, let's go this way. Big freezer. It's a little dark, so watch your space. We're going to go out this way. Okay, head straight up. sounds like I heard a cattle. Woo! Okay, guys, just in a little circle over here. I'm going to show you a couple things about the workshop. Face this way. Court, could you get the radio for me? So Nicole, we introduced ourselves already. So this is Nicole. So guys, just say your names one more time to shoot as who you are, starting with Drew.
Drew. Jennifer. Mariella. Nick.
Giles.
Max.
We're going to get to say your names a lot today. Okay, so before we can actually start working on making art, everybody has a different level and things they like to do, right? Like Drew, what do you like to draw? Or do you like to draw, paint, sculpture? What? Draw is your favorite thing? And what kind of things do you like to draw?
Landscape.
Like what kind of landscapes? Like buildings, cities?
Just like forests and like yard work.
Okay. Do you like to use color in your drawings? Okay, great. Nicole, what do you like to draw? Flowers. And do you like to use a lot of color with flowers? Yeah. Okay. Jenna?
I usually like drawing cartoons and stuff.
Okay. Do you copy from things or do you use your imagination?
Sometimes I copy from things like from books I have.
Yeah, and that's really great because that's how we learn is to copy, you know, copying is perfectly all right, especially when you're copying like works of great artists like that, bless you, like that painting of Van Gogh over there that you see. It's always great to like copy their brush strokes and see the way they do things so we begin to learn. Bless you. You're it. Okay, Ella, how about you?
I like to draw people.
Yeah? And how do you think, when you draw people, do you like to draw them like abstract people or realistic people?
Like realistic people.
Yeah? And do you copy sometimes too?
It's rare for me to copy. I just use my imagination. I
Great.
make up little names for them.
That's a perfect answer. Nick?
Mostly I do.
Yeah?
Some things I make up, some things I copy.
Okay, so you're just like, you can do just about anything your imagination wants you to do, right? Okay, great. Giles?
I like to draw like characters that I make up in my head. They're mostly like fighting type characters and stuff like that.
So do you like copy sometimes too, or?
Once in a while. Like I get ideas, but not necessarily copy them.
So where do you get most of your inspiration from?
Either watching TV or just it comes up in my head.
Oh, great. Max?
I like to draw cars. I like to draw like planes and stuff. Sometimes I draw like people, like fighting people sometimes.
Right.
And I usually sometimes like make up their like costumes and suits and stuff. Or I usually get it off like my video games I play or like the TV or the movies I watch.
I think you're forgetting something too. What other form of art do you do besides drawing? That's really important. And what else? Sculpture, right? You make little sculptures of things.
And I usually sculpture like clay, and I make like little like dragons and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. And I like put also my like action figure swords and stuff on them.
Right, I've seen some of them before. So the really great part about all of us working together is, as you can see, everybody has, bless you, uh-oh, we're going to play the sneezing game today. Who's next? Jenna, you're next. No. As you can see, everybody likes to do something a little bit different, and we're going to learn from each other, you know. And why we're really here today is not for me to like instruct you how to do art. I'm here to share myself, my ideas with you, and you're here to share your ideas, bless you, your ideas with everybody else and with me too. Because just because I'm older, it doesn't mean that I can't learn something from each and every one of you. And it doesn't mean that you can't learn something from each other also, which is really important. Working on a mural together, of course, we're going to be doing many things just besides working on a mural. We're going to be doing a lot of exercises to help you develop as people and as artists also. So just some of the things that we have. I put on a board over here. So when you come in every week, you can be familiar and kind of like look at things here, and if you need to refer back to them again, they're always going to be here for you to see. Some of the projects we're going to be doing drawing, sculpture, and painting, and some of the things we're going to be creating out of these things are portraits, landscapes, animals, buildings, something we call assemblage. In sculpture, we're going to be creating little sculptures of people as well as animals. We're going to be doing drawings on perspective and portraits, we're going to be doing life-size. This is we call the measure man, and we're going to be doing life-size people. We're going to be drawing each other in life-size so you can see how that works out. Because when you do a mural, all these things that we're learning, right, are going to be applicable for when we do the mural. So we don't actually have the mural space yet. I'm going to get that within a couple weeks. Today, at the end of the class, we're going to take a little walk around Millville and see what the possibilities of like making different kind of murals are. Over here, I gave you some examples that you can look at through the next couple weeks of, just different ideas. Some of them are a little bit complicated, like this one, of the world. These are pretty simple. These are outside building murals. We're doing a portable mural, and that means that instead of having it like put on the side of a building like this where it's going to be all the time, we've been lucky enough to have people interested in our workshop and this mural that it's going to be all over South Jersey. It's going to be in a library, it's going to go to a school, it's going to go to 2 schools as a matter of fact. It's going to hang here in the Arts District during, I think, 3rd Friday. 1 week it's going to be at a car dealership. So it's going to be all over the place. So your work isn't just going to be in one place, your work is going to be all over South Jersey when you're done. The great thing about doing a mural together is that we get to work together as a group. And I think that's what ties into like the idea of the peace project too. It's that we really can't have peace in this world or think of ideas of peace without people working together, right? We can't work alone or stand alone. It's kind of like my grandfather told me once, it's the idea of a string, right? If you have 1 string, the string is weak. You put 2 strings together, it's stronger. You put 3, 4, 5 together, and it turns into a rope. So that's the whole idea of working together collaboratively as well as independently, is that we are creating strength, right? And that helps us knock our ideas off of each other too. Today and tomorrow we're going to be going over a lot of introductory things. It's kind of like, let's say when you learn a new language, right? In order to learn how to speak Spanish, you need to know the words how to say, right? So the same thing with doing art. Before we can actually start making things or you thinking outside of like the box that you're in already and learning different things, we need to learn how to talk about art too. And art has its own vocabulary. In understanding the art vocabulary, you'll be able to understand how to put things together and create compositions, incredible compositions that you never thought of before. One exciting thing amongst many with this workshop is that I guarantee you, in 5 or 6 weeks when we're done, you will know things that you never thought you could know before and how to draw. And I think that's a really exciting thing. It's exciting for me too, because guess what? I'm going to know things that I didn't know when we leave too. So let's go over these. Be patient. We're going to go over a couple of these things today, just to give you like an idea of like where we're going with this whole thing. These are the example murals, like I said. What we're usually going to do. This is the class schedule over here. On Mondays, what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to do a little circle like this for a few minutes, and we're going to talk about what you did on the weekend or anything interesting, or maybe you did a project on the weekend or something like that. After we talk about that, we're going to talk about your peace journals that I asked your parents to buy for you. What do you think the reason for keeping a journal is for this workshop? Does anybody know? Nicole?
Writing about yourself.
Absolutely. Drew? What else?
Keeping ideas.
Absolutely. Anybody else? Max? Same thing? Yeah, that's what the really great thing about a journal is. I'll show you one of my journals. And a journal could be anything. Like this is mine that I had from a few years ago. And it ranges from like drawings and sayings that I have in there. All kind of abstract things. I cut out things that I like and I put in there. I'll copy down sayings of like, different things that inspire me, right? Sometimes I'll, paste things that I see, or maybe I made this on something else and I decided that I need to be on this page of my journal because that would inspire me more for it to be here. Sometimes if I'm like on the train to go to the city or I'm driving, I always keep a little journal beside me in the car, and if I see something interesting, an idea, I usually jot it down or this is what this was from. This was on the back of an old, I can't even tell you what it was, like a box that I had there. And I had to get this idea out quick. And maybe it didn't really ever come to anything, but it certainly helped influence what I could do in the future, right? I have pictures. This picture right here is important to me because that's the very first painting I ever did in my life. My dad let me paint the basement wall, which happens to be what? It's a mural, right? Isn't that funny? That was done 25 years ago, right? My dad told me that I could use the basement wall, and I decided to use its bright colors and shapes. My aunt said that it looked like the butt of an elephant, right, with the 2 ears sticking out? It kind of does, doesn't it? The back, and it's 2 ears on the other side. So that's what your journal is for, is to keep, just ideas, anything that you can put in there. And your ideas won't only help for this workshop, but it'll help for your future endeavors and things that you'd like to do as an artist or even person, right? So that's why we keep a journal. When we go around town today, I want you to take your journal with you, and maybe you can jot down a few ideas about what you see. It's really great when you look at other artists' work, especially public work, which is what you're doing. It's called a public works project. That means it's different than private work that you would do at home for somebody else. This is where all the public can see your work, which is a really great thing. So, I think most of you went over these ideas. I asked you to go over them with your parents or yourself. And they're the peace topics we're going to be working on also. What can I do to prevent violence? These are just things that you can think about. Maybe jot down in the beginning of your journal so that you can help. These are pictures that kids actually did in their own individual journals with these topics in mind. What can I do to become an earth keeper? What can I do to be a global member of a global village? We only get one earth, peace in our hearts. Where's the other one? I thought there was another. Okay, so there are just some ideas to think about. You can refer back to the flyers that I sent you, the little yellow peace topics book sometimes. And this will give us ideas to work on for the mural. So what happens is a mural is what they call a progressive and a layered project. So what happens let me go back over the schedule, sorry. So we're going to discuss things about your journal, what you learned. I also asked if your parents could pick you up like a digital camera, a regular camera. And that's to take pictures too. You can keep that with you in your backpack or whatever, or even in here to remind you. Because what I'd like to do at the end of the class is I'd like to put a little book together that we all can take home of the experience of actually making the mural. From this first day where there was nothing created to the end where we have this really incredible thing that we created, right? That's why I didn't put it in here, because we're starting out with nothing. And by the time we're done, we're going to have this really great thing that we made all together. Okay? So we're going to do that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce the artist and the topic of the week. So let's say this week we're going to introduce the idea of measurement and line, which are the two most important things to start out with. And what happens is we start out from the very basic things, and we're going to go to the very complex things. So it'll help you understand how line plays a part in creating everything that we have. And we're going to talk about the elements and principles of art. And after that, you're going to understand how to put these things together to create compositions that you would have never thought of creating before. And then on Tuesdays, what we're going to do is we're going to come in, we're just going to talk for a few minutes, and then we're probably going to, every once in a while, have a guest speaker, and then we're going to work on the mural. And this is how we're going to work on the mural. We'll sit down, and we'll usually look at our journals and our sketchbook, and we'll talk about different ideas. And when I actually get the mural, which is going to be three big panels in here, then what we'll do is we'll be able to take and transfer ideas a little bit at a time. We may sketch a little bit, we may paint a little bit, we may put wood pieces on there a little bit, whatever our ideas are. And you're going to be surprised, like the ideas aren't just going to we're not just going to go and stand in front of it and say, okay, what are we going to draw on today? Your ideas, you're going to be bursting with ideas after a couple weeks because you're going to be seeing things all over the place that reminds you of what we could put in this mural and the topic for the mural. We know that we want it to be a topic of peace, we know that. But what can we put in there to help people understand our vision of peace? That's the way to keep it on. What is our vision of peace as a group and personally? What does that mean? Okay, and that's how we're going to create the mural. What we're going to work on today is two things. We have a puzzle project that we're going to work on just to get used to each other, and we have a portfolio project. Does everybody know that this is a portfolio? Have you seen these before? Okay. All right. So a portfolio is they come in many shapes and sizes. And essentially what it is, it's an open thing like this that you can put your work in. It doesn't have to have handles. I have a portfolio that's just that I carry under my arm like that. And do you know why we would use a portfolio? What do you think, John?
Because you could keep all the things that you have in mind. You could put the things that you love and that you like to draw and things that you have in mind in there.
Right. Hi guys, how are you? Come in and sit down.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna at 12 o'clock we're gonna take a little walk around 11 o'clock. So you can meet us downstairs. They're having a funeral later on this afternoon. So we'll be downstairs in the front in the restaurant part of
Okay, I'll let him handle it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's what a portfolio is for. It's so, like, if you have, I don't even have a piece of paper here, but you know what happens if you have a piece, oh, here's a perfect, excuse me, 1 second. Here's a perfect example. My paper that I wanted to keep nice, look what happened to it. Because what? It was like I put it in the car, and then I put it on the countertop, and then I put it here or wherever. And before you know it, the paper that I wanted to keep nice is all wrinkled right now. So when you make a really nice piece of artwork, you don't want it to get all wrinkled, right? You want it to keep it nice and straight. So Jen is exactly right. So you take your piece of artwork and you slip it in your portfolio, and guess what? It won't get wrinkled anymore, right? So that's in case you want to take your work home maybe during the week and show your parents, and you want to bring it back again. It's really a transportation device. It's like a big flat pocketbook is what it is, okay? Okay, so what I'd like to do right now is just to get to know each other a little bit better. I would like to do this, this puzzle project. And here's what we're going to do. You're each going to get a piece of this puzzle, right? And you have to find, there's only 2 possible ways these pieces can fit in. So that means there's 2 people, each having a piece of the puzzle. And the only way is that you have to find the person that matches the other puzzle piece. And then we're going to create the overall puzzle together. Now, when you find that person, right, that has the exact part of the puzzle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a list of questions, and you're going to interview each other and ask each other about these questions, and then we're going to tell each other about each other. So you'll be able to make a friend instantly. We'll be able to know each other and do this really fun exercise. And then we're going to go ahead and start making our portfolios right away. Okay? Okay. So let me give you these pieces. Excuse me. Here we go. I'll catch these guys up afterwards, which you missed, okay? Uh-huh. And there's going to be some pieces left over, but let's do, sure you get that one. Okay, I'm going to turn on some fun kind of jumpy music, and go ahead and try to find the person that fits the piece. I may have 3 pieces here, so maybe somebody's going to be my puzzle friend. Okay? Go ahead and turn on music. Could you stop a minute and put on some music for me? How are we making out? You got one? Okay. So, Max is your puzzle buddy for today. So here's some questions that you might ask each other. And what you can do is you can write your answers 1 column for Drewy, 1 column for Max in the back. So interview each other and find out about each other. Oh, we got another match over here.
Where do we put the pieces?
Put the pieces right on the floor over there in the middle, and we start putting them together. You 2 got it too? Okay. These are questions you can interview each other with. Okay. Let's make a column on the back for Nicole and put Matt. Okay. Giles, you got one? And who's your Nick? Oh, boy, you're right next to each other, huh? Okay. Right. So interview each other, and then put your 2 columns on the back, Giles, and Nick over there. 2. We're going to put them right over there, so we can start assembling them together. You did? Okay. Your puzzle buddies for today. I'll get you some pencils. Put one side that says Jenna, and one side that says Ella, and you can ask each other these questions. Okay? Pencils. Joey, is there pencils down there?
Yeah, they're not sharp.
Oh. Uh-oh. Nick, you must be my puzzle buddy. Okay, let me get some pencils.
What do you like to do? Sports, hobbies, art?
Let's see. Are these markers too thick? Oh, these are good. Listen, guys, you can use markers because they're pretty thin, because we can get the pencil sharpened yet. Okay, there you go. Yeah, you can sit, listen, you can sit at the tables. These tables are we're gonna have these all cleared. It's only because they have this thing going on today. But you can take and push some of the stuff back. You can sit on the floor, you can sit at the tables. Wherever you're comfortable. Okay. Let's see. What do you think? Is that it? No? Now how did you get to be so lucky to be my puzzle buddy? Okay. Okay, let's see how this goes. This has to go.
What are you afraid of?
Perfect.
What are you afraid of? How can you?
Okay. Okay, come on, we'll go sit over here.